Happy Father's Day and welcome into Championship Sunday of Week 3 of the 2022 SoCal Pro Circuit. Alex Gruskin, thrilled to be back with all of you. Hopefully those of you on the East Coast have enjoyed your brunch bagels. You got a little quiche in, maybe a little 1 p.m. dessert action as well. And now you're ready to enjoy some tennis here on Championship Sunday. And thankfully, we've got another jam-packed day of action set for all of you joining us on the stream. Of course, SoCal Pro Circuit, week number 3, our final week in the San Diego area. I'll say this, for the last week in the area, the tennis certainly delivering us the goods down the home stretch. And of course, here on Championship Sunday, we have 2 simultaneous championship singles matches on hand for all of you to enjoy. Of course, as always, we'll employ our cross-court coverage, hopping between the 2 matches, trying to show you all the pertinent points, all the most important moments of today's events. With that in mind, we've got our players already on court. So let's introduce who will be competing in week 3 of our 2022 SoCal Pro Circuit finals. We'll start with our women's singles final, a battle between 2 qualifiers. There's something you don't frequently say in the final championship match of an event. We've got 2, again, qualifiers reaching our final here today. Let's start on the far side of the net. It's Megan McRae, 26-year-old former standout at Oklahoma State. Of course, McRae took a couple of years off between her freshman and senior season for the Cowgirls, but of course, McRae has reached a career high inside the top 800 earlier in her career, now working her way back onto the Pro Tour after injuries and pursuits of non-on-court passions kept her away from the Pro Circuit these past few years. Of course, for McRae yesterday, dominant in a 6-love, 6-1 victory over future Princeton star, 17-year-old Catherine Hui. And yeah, I suppose I'm projecting calling her a future star, but you saw Hui this week. Certainly a promising talent. And yet yesterday, again, it was all Megan McRae, her physicality, that ability to turn defense into offense. She was exceptional. 6-love, 6-1 win, dropped just 1 set on her way to these finals, considering she had to come through qualifying. Extraordinarily impressive. But of course, the only player in the women's draw who's had a more impressive week than Megan McRae, her opponent here in today's final, 24-year-old McKenna Jones. Of course, Jones, former UNC All-American, was the 2021 NCAA doubles champion. I should say one half of that NCAA doubles championship winning team. Of course, a multi-time All-American, one of just 4 players in North Carolina women's tennis history to earn over 100 singles and doubles victories in her career. Of course, knocked out doubles partner this week and former teammate Sarah Davatilla in the quarterfinals. An 0-1 victory for her yesterday as well against 18-year-old Australian teenager Catherine Olise. Of course, McKenna Jones, we saw her compete yesterday in a 2nd consecutive SoCal Pro Circuit doubles final. Unfortunately, Jones, Davatilla coming up just short in that doubles final. But of course, today, both Megan McRae, McKenna Jones competing for their first pro singles title. So someone's walking away with some hardware for the first time today. That's got to be the ultimate gift for a father, right? I'll tell you this, if I have a daughter someday, someone's fortunate or willing to put up with my nonsense. If they deliver me a Pro Circuit title on this day of all days, Father's Day, Sunday, June 19th, that would be the gift that keeps on giving. So certainly Jones, McRae, one half of our action. You see warm-ups now complete here for our women's singles final. We'll begin our coverage of that match momentarily. Let's quickly hop over to our men's action as well. And tell you what, a lot of hair on court in this men's singles final, a lot of talent on court as well. Let's start with the 2022 NCAA singles finalist, August Holmgren. Holmgren, of course, already captured its SoCal Pro Circuit singles title earlier, 2 weeks ago, was the first pro singles title of his career. And of course, the 24-year-old's coming off a career season at the collegiate level, All-American status, reached the NCAA singles final. Again, already into the top 650. A lot of that coming off of the success he had both last fall and in week 1, beat Gage Breimer to capture the singles title. Also captured the doubles title in Rancho Santa Fe for what it's worth back in week 1. But of course, August Holmgren, again, tough 3-set victory for him yesterday over Yuta Kikuchi. of Cal. 3-set win for him. 3 sets against Kikuchi, 3 sets against Vale. That's the question. How much in the tank does August Holmgren have left? Of course, Holmgren going to take on a teenager and one of the rising stars in the American tennis scene. Of course, I'm talking about 18-year-old Ethan Quinn. Quinn just finished his redshirt season at the University of Georgia, will be a rising redshirt freshman next season. Of course, Ethan Quinn reached his first pro circuit final at the end of April, I believe. And so for Quinn, again, inside the top 900, he's had a ton of pro circuit success over the past 6 months. Got a win over future Georgia teammate, another American teenage sensation, Alex Mickelson, yesterday. That was a 3-set victory for him. Comes back from 3-love down in that 3rd set. And again, Quinn, Holmgren, very different places in their careers. But of course, that's what makes this SoCal Pro Circuit so enjoyable. The nexus of all things we love here at Crack Racquets. Rising junior talents, former or current All-American collegians. Of course, all these players aspiring professionals as well. Should be a fun championship Sunday here at the SoCal Pro Circuit at the beautiful Barnes Tennis Center. With that in mind, let's begin our coverage of the action. Holmgren, Quinn, yet to begin. But as you see, we start things off 2 breakpoint chances, 3 actually, but the first fought off for McKenna Jones. We saw so much success from Jones yesterday in employing that exact tactic. If you watched McKenna Jones in college, that moving forward, that aggression, that willingness to come to the net, it's not something she did a lot of. That's a new development in the game of the 24-year-old, and she had so much success with it yesterday. Going to be fascinating to see if that carries over into our championship match today. Again, I expect this one to be physical. But a 10-15 shot rallies. Unfortunately, the double fault from McCray means it's McKenna Jones starting things off with a 1-love break. Of course, as we can here on our Cracked Racquet stream. Let's go split screen. Show the action on both of our courts. Looks like Holmgren, Quinn going back to the bench, getting ready for that match to get underway as well. Of course, as you see on the top of the screen, so many people to thank to help make this SoCal Pro Circuit possible. Dare we say the fathers and mothers of the circuit as well. Of course, a massive shout out to the USTA SoCal, ITF. Of course, you've got the Crable and Kleege families, their passion for tennis, growing it at the grassroots, providing these professional playing opportunities, essential for any tennis community to thrive. So cannot thank them enough. The Kleeges, the Crables, of course, you all know about Wilson. Whether it's the Clash, the Blade, you name it, they've been providing the best rackets in the industry for generations now. Of course, again, whether it's the Southern California Tennis Association Foundation, the Bryan Brothers Foundation, takes a family to put on this series of events. Again, 3 straight weeks of ITF professional action in San Diego. That's what it's all about, folks. So with that in mind, got action on both of our courts now. I get to say those magical words, folks. Let's play some tennis. You already hear the August Holmgren faithful. Of course, for Holmgren, University of San Diego standout, getting to compete in his home city. Yes, he's from Denmark, but spent 5 years in San Diego. Clearly has adopted the city as his second home, so it'll be interesting to see how the fans play a role if they do frustrate the young Quinn at all. Meanwhile, how about this? Megan McRae breaks right back for 1-all. It's an exchange of breaks to open up our women's singles final. Forehand from Quinn for 40-30. Worth reminding all of you, the last time August Holmgren competed in a championship match at the Barnes Tennis Center, he ended up a national champion, winning the ITA National Fall Championships here at the BTC back in November. So Holmgren, plenty familiar with success on this championship center court. Meanwhile, Megan McRae continuing to just grind away. How about this? Ethan Quinn already down. He's okay. Can only imagine how hot that Barnes Tennis Center court is, even here at 10 a.m. Again, 10:18 San Diego time, 1:18 here on the East Coast. Tell you what, here in Southeast Michigan, it's a beautiful day, 77. Over in San Diego right now, already, yeah, 71 degrees, and it's going to stay low 70s throughout today's action. A BEA beautiful day for tennis. All right, McRae holds for 2-1. So early going in our women's singles final. Again, want to monitor both of these matches, tell you all the stories. For now, we go full screen in our men's singles final. Little difficulties for Ethan Quinn in his opening service game. Again, Quinn, 18 years old, 3 sets yesterday. His 3-hour victory. His fellow teenager, fellow future Georgia Bulldog, Alex Mickelson. That ball right there. That's where Ethan Quinn's just special. Again, 18 years old, his ability to turn into that forehand, his confidence and willingness to move forward. I was speaking with Georgia associate head coach Jamie Hunt, who emphasized Quinn's work ethic. He said for a freshman, particularly a redshirt freshman, guy never missed a 7 a.m. workout. Again, clearly already has the passion, the work ethic required to succeed at this level. He's got some weapons as well and uses that big forehand to push August Holmgren around the court. Quinn with the one love hold again for Quinn. Reached a final end of April in Vero Beach. Second professional final for the 18-year-old. Meanwhile, you look for August Holmgren. Fourth professional singles final of his career. Second, obviously, in the past 3 weeks. Won that first title in Rancho Santa Fe. Quinn still looking for his first title here at the BTC. With that in mind, let's go over to our women's singles final. Yeah, I'm interested here. It's a sitting changeover at One Love. It looks like the trainer came out on court to come wrap something pretty quickly for Ethan Quinn. We saw that trainer run out on court talking with Quinn now. Again, fifth match of the week for Quinn in singles. Quinn, of course, reached the doubles final yesterday. He and CM Waldeep knocked out by the top seed, so a lot of tennis on the 18-year-old's body. Interesting. Sitting changeover to start. Again, Kenna Jones competing in her first professional singles final. Good anticipation. Better read from McCray, 430 all. Again, McKenna Jones hadn't reached a professional quarterfinal. Not a semifinal, not a final. Hadn't reached a professional quarterfinal since October 2015, prior to her college tennis career. Again, speaks to the importance of this week for her from a confidence perspective, if nothing else. Jones has competed in all three of our SoCal Pro Circuit singles and doubles events. Jones a little long there, though, so 30-40. Another break point chance here for McCray. McCray with the 3-1 lead. Talk about, again, someone who's made the most of these playing opportunities. Megan McCray had a 2-year gap in pro circuit events, played March 2020 at the 25K in Rancho Santa Fe, obviously prior to the start of the pandemic. Didn't play another pro circuit event until February of this year. Heck of a return there from McKenna Jones. You look for Megan McRae, who of course has done some touring. Musician, playing alongside her sister. What a couple weeks it's been, McRae. Quarterfinals in Rancho Santa Fe 2 weeks ago. Lost second round last week to top seed Jess Fela. Into the finals here in San Diego, but a struggle. Down love 40 in her opening service game, love 30 here. Of course, again, has broken McKenna Jones twice out the gate. But Jones looking to answer the call. 3 break point chances back. Jones a little long there, and you can tell first strike with the return of serve going to be particularly important in this match. Neither McRae, Jones going to crank up the serve. Both hit their spots well. They're the sort of player that's going to rack up a ton of free points behind the first serve. Yeah, it's twice now. 2 double faults from McRae in this exact scenario. 30-40 far side of the screen. Jones will take it, and with that, she gets the break back. 2-3 on serve in our women's singles final. Let's head back over to the best named stadium court in all of the United States. Let's go back to Snapdragon Stadium Court. Yes, you heard me correctly, folks. Snapdragon Stadium Court. Men's singles final. 18-year-old Ethan Quinn serving on the near side here. Called wide. Quinn going to give that a second look. I would too. Holmgren was fairly confident about that call, though, so we go back to deuce. This is a deep cut. For those of you tuning in, and again, at AL Gruskin, at Cracked Racquets, feel free to throw some comments in the YouTube chat as well. The silhouette of Ethan Quinn, he looks like a cross between Jensen Brooksby and former Florida All-American Johannes Ingledson. You agree, at AL Gruskin, again, if you cross Ingledson and Brooksby, I think you get Quinn. I've seen Ingledson try to do that as well. Hell of a return from August Holmgren, who, if we're being honest, did not play well yesterday. Was a 3-set win ultimately for Holmgren. 6-4 in the third over rising Cal senior Yuta Kikuchi, but you just wonder how much gas does Holmgren have left in the tank. It's about his 18th match, about 28 days. Go back to his NCAA singles final run, 6 matches there, 5 matches the next week in Rancho Santa Fe. So that's 11, 2 last week in San Diego, 13. Now his 5th singles match of the week here, 18, 28 days. I know he's 24, but it's a lot of tennis on anyone's body. Perhaps that's why we see him taking these big cuts right now on the return of serve. You do wonder, the longer this match goes, again, does that favor the 18-year-old with the fresher legs in Ethan Quinn? He'll take another game point chance here. to keep us on serve. Back to deuce, of course, if you watched Quinn yesterday on that backhand wing. Yes, he likes to hit the drive. But Ethan Quinn going to be plenty comfortable mixing in the drop shot. Backhand slice likes to go off speed, keep you guessing out of that backhand corner of his. Of course, yesterday was under 50% on the first serve. The first serve can be a weapon, but of course, it's got to go in. Been a little slap happy here early. Playing first strike has led to a plethora of early errors. That's a good serve into the body, of course, for August Holmgren. And I mentioned this yesterday if you joined us for his semifinal match. Stagnation, complacency, it's the kiss of death against August Holmgren. You start targeting that backhand wing for him too monotonously, he's going to make you pay. Going to start sitting on that ball. He anticipates so well. I love that play from Quinn. A couple of serves to different locations. First into the body, then to the forehand. Two tough service games, but two holds for Ethan Quinn to kick off our men's singles final. Of course, we transition back to our women's singles final now. Was 2-3 on serve. McKenna Jones about to serve. Again, qualifier versus qualifier in our women's singles final as such. Perhaps unsurprisingly, going to be a first-time champion, regardless of who wins today's match. Right now, it is all 26-year-old Megan McRae, as she earns, in the service game of McKenna Jones, as she earns herself another breakpoint chance. Jones goes long, so it's a 4-2 lead now. Megan McRae. Again, neither player having much success on the first serve, but right now, McKenna Jones, 1 of 10. On second serve points, 1 of 10. Yeah, that was a little sporadic. I get the intention. Just a little lazy with the footwork there if you're McRae, and certainly she seemed to acknowledge that after the shot as well. if we can, super producer Daniel Westoff, as soon as that men's match gets back, let's go split screen a little bit. Enjoy the opening stages here of both of our championship singles matches. Not a lot of rhythm right now for either McRae or Jones. So another break point, another game point chance here for McRae. Doesn't look particularly windy here today. Something about this near side of the screen. McRae just a little bit more comfortable with her +1 stroke. Goes with the big backhand up the line, holds 4-5-2. So Megan McRae sticking her nose in front, staying there for now. She leads 5-2 in set number 1. Meanwhile, back to our men's singles final. It's been 2 difficult service games thus far for 18-year-old Ethan Quinn. Holmgren's had a break point chance. Saw it dissipate, but thus far, 6 deuces for Ethan Quinn already in just 2 service games. 6 deuces. So Holmgren picking up the pressure. Certainly, again, Holmgren won the ITA National Fall Championships here at the Barnes Tennis Center. Week 1 SoCal Pro Circuit singles and doubles champion. 24-year-old playing in his 4th professional final does certainly have the experience edge. That's special. That pattern right there is why you keep your eye on Ethan Quinn. And look, college tennis fans everywhere across the country ask the question, why redshirt Ethan Quinn this past season? There is no doubt Quinn would have been able to contribute to the Bulldogs lineup immediately. Yet again, Coach Diaz, Coach Hunt, Quinn family playing the long game for Ethan. Worried about his development long term, not immediate successes, but building the best player moving forward. Look at how deep Holmgren is on his return position. And right there, that's the backhand drop shot for Ethan Quinn we was talking about. We was talking about, hey, great grammar here on Father's Day. We were talking about yesterday. Quinn going to keep Holmgren honest. Again, Holmgren, why was he so far back on that return position standing at the San Diego? So he can find a forehand. Credit to Ethan Quinn, though, for taking the space offered to him. Does it again there. Again, a little sneaker. Didn't have to do much with that approach shot. Had to, the depth, the placement perfectly. And then again, that's just such a difficult passing shot for anyone to execute. On the full sprint, one-handed backhand. Game point chance for Quinn. Can we go split screen, super producer Daniel Westoff? Don't want to miss that Megan McRae set point. Again, McKenna Jones has yet to hold. So you feel like, again, she may get close. So that goes wide there. So 2 game point chances now for McKenna Jones, 40-15, to extend set number 1. Meanwhile, we see here early today, and I thought yesterday Ethan Quinn was much more mellow. Early on in the match, was willing to grind with Mickelson, work 2, 3, 4 shots into the rally before pulling the trigger. That is not the case here today for Quinn. Clearly, in the scouting report, it said you play first strike or get dictated at. Quinn choosing the former instead of the latter. That forehand into the net, so break point chance again here for August Holmgren to stick his nose out front. Our men's singles final. Meanwhile, McKenna Jones on the board. Holds 4-5, holds 4-3-5. Cray still to serve for the set. Let's go full screen in our men's singles final. Break point chance here for Holmgren. Blonde hair, as always, flowing in the wind on that near side of your screen. Backhand return painted at the feet of Ethan Quinn. So August Holmgren draws blood first. 3-2 lead for the 24-year-old 2022 NCAA singles finalist. Meanwhile, it's a nice start for Megan McRae. We do apologize for that scoreboard flickering in and out at the bottom of your screen. Some technical difficulties plaguing us yesterday. Thankfully, those seem to have been alleviated. Shout out, as always, to super producer Daniel Westhoff, best in the business, facilitating everything, making it all possible. It's a nice strike from Jones. She has done such a good job this week of creating space for herself. What do I mean by that? The angle, the heaviness of that cross-court forehand. Her locations, finding the outer thirds of the court. I've been extraordinarily impressed. Again, I don't remember this sort of sting on the McKenna Jones racket. It's a tough missed return, certainly. Set point chances here for McRae. Yeah, just long. I will say I love how round everything Megan McRae does. The forehand overtly circular. That's the right way of saying it. Just again, the top spin she's able to generate, that ball exploding through the court. Great ball from Jones. And that renewed willingness to move forward. I'll continue to emphasize it, as I do think that's the next step for her here as she progresses throughout her pro career. Again, Jones is, as you can see there, a heck of an athlete. Always an exceptional mover. I think she has the physicality to continue to climb up the rankings, but does she have the weapons to make life a little bit easier for herself? It's a tough error. Middle third backhand there. Again, a testament to the relentlessness of Megan McRae. Another break point chance here. I thought that missed long. I think Jones is going to point to his spot as well. Point coming up. Excuse me, back to deuce. That's nice. Another break point chance coming up here for Jones. Meanwhile, August Holmgren holding for 4-2, so he has consolidated his break lead in our men's singles final. All right, set point chance now coming up here for Megan McRae, and the 26-year-old competing in her first pro circuit singles final. Yet we play on another first strike. Successful on the return from McKenna Jones. I'd love, again, if you're McCray, picking a different spot there. It just feels like that forehand return. Well, that one Jones sends long. So perhaps it does pay dividends nevertheless. And with that, 6-3 first set to Megan McCray. Action level of play significantly rising. With that in mind, we go back to our men's singles final. How long there is Ethan Quinn on that forehand. You look so far for August Holmgren. 11 of 12 on first serve points, 14 of 16 overall for the match on serve. Contrast that with, again, Ethan Quinn making fewer than 50% of his first serves in his first 4 service games. Thus, 30-15 for Holmgren. 30 love. Make it 30-15. It's just the 3rd point he's lost on serve. Blinking much at all. A couple of +1 forehand errors mean it's a break point chance for Ethan Quinn. And look, Quinn will happily accept the gifts being given to him. Good ball. Good patience, good physicality. And Quinn, you get the intent why he's looking to change direction there. And I think he hits that on the rise forehand extraordinarily well. to deuce. And you wonder if you're Holmgren, again, are you similarly, you hitting every serve to that Ethan Quinn backhand? Feels like when you have, Holmgren's been able to find +1 forehand seemingly at will. That's a great serve out wide, though. Changes his spot. Another game point coming up for August Holmgren to dig himself a bit of a jam. Find himself a gold. Holmgren holds 4-5-3. And thus far, August Holmgren dropping just 6 points on serve. Fights off his first break point, 1 game away from the first set. Anyway, let's go split screen here. Second set gets underway in our women's singles final. McKenna Jones, it's a much needed hold to start off the second set. She's got a 1-love lead now. 30-15 for McCray. How about that laser up the line from August Holmgren? On that backhand, 30-15 now for Quinn. Meanwhile, win chance here for McCray. And look, I talked about the pressure McKenna Jones puts on you with her relentlessness, but right now, Megan McCray just beating Jones to the spot. Taking the majority of the action early on the rise. Love the fluidity of McCray on the run. Big cross-court forehand draws the Jones error. 1-all now in set number 2. Meanwhile, 30-all here for the 18-year-old Ethan Quinn. Face stress in just about every single one of his service games to start today's match. All right, let's go full screen on that men's singles final now, as it's a 7-point chance coming for August Holmgren here. 30-40. Again, Ethan Quinn playing in his second professional singles final. First set to August Holmgren, 6-3. The 24-year-old 1 set away from a second SoCal Pro Circuit title. And again, we're in his neck of the woods. If you come to San Diego, you better go kiss the ring. August Holmgren continuing to prove he is the Pied Piper of all things at the Barnes Tennis Center. Meanwhile, again, here, 1-all 15 all, set number 2. I don't mean to be rude. It's been a very blah match so far. Not a lot of rhythm for either player. You definitely felt some championship final jitters for these first 2 finalists. That's the play for McKenna Jones. McRae so steady and explosive out of the corners. But Jones has had a plethora of opportunities to do just that. Attack the approach, move forward behind it, put some pressure on McRae when she's in those corners. If you don't, she's going to make you pay. Return though. And again, you look right now for McKenna Jones, 3 of 15 on second serve points. My culture, we say that's nishkit. Not very good. Has to find more first serves here if she wants to stay alive. You look for Jones right now, 4 double faults. But honestly, understand why she's choosing to go for a bit more on that shot. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right? So game point coming up. Jones continuing to keep pace. 2-1 lead in the second set. Meanwhile, set number 2 underway. Again, August Holmgren in set number 1, dropping just 6 points on serve. Faced just a single break point in that opening set. Again, all Holmgren right now. But all right, better patience, discipline from Quinn there. More importantly, the depth generated. 15-30 now. It's ATP tennis. ATP tennis. From August Holmgren. Uses the serve to set up the +1. Ackerman overhead as well from that position on the court. We're back to 30 all. So one love, Holmgren getting himself out of another jam. Again, you understand with the first serve, the +1 tennis he's able to play even when his back is against the wall. That's just why it feels like August Holmgren going to quickly ascend up these ATP rankings, get to the top 400, start competing at the challenger level. I will be shocked if he's not top 400, top 300, even by the end of this season with those sorts of weapons. Of course, right now, perhaps you're wondering, why aren't we showing our women's singles final? Give us a second. Some technical difficulties with our camera over on court 10 for now. And again, at AL Gruskin, at Cracked Racquets. Feel free to on Twitter, feel free to send us a comment there. You can throw it in our YouTube comment section as well. What's the best stadium court in all of tennis? I think it's Snapdragon Stadium. I mean, again, does it get more aptly named than that? Forget Billie Jean King Center. Forget Arthur Ashe Stadium Court. Give me Snapdragon Stadium every day of the week. So again, Quinn trying to keep Holmgren honest with the backhand drop shot there. Holmgren starting to anticipate that drop shot better, though. Great depth on his approach for Love 15. As soon as that women's match is back, super producer Daniel Westhoff, can you take us back to split screen? As we monitor our championship singles matches here. Heck of a serve from Ethan Quinn. That's where comeback starts for Quinn, right? Here in set number 2. Quinn made 48% of his first serves in set number 1. That means 3 of his last 4 sets he's been under that 50% clip on the first serve. Obviously, that's just not going to cut it for Quinn as he continues to progress through his career. It's a good play. +1 swinging volley for McKenna Jones. Fights off break point number 1, 3-1 lead here for Jones. She has gotten into brick wall mode, just not giving anything away for free right now. Continuing to keep her aggression up as well. Again, +1 McKenna was not something she was confused for during her college tennis career, a testament to the growth of Jones, who struggled certainly since turning pro full-time from a record perspective. Tough for Jones, who gets things back to deuce outside the top 1,000 of the singles ranking. She just had to play qualifying everywhere. And as such, playing those qualifying matches, and yes, she's qualified for a bunch of different first rounds, but with her final here this week, should crack the top 900 of the singles rankings, maybe even the top 850. With a win here today. You imagine once we get to the LA half of this SoCal Pro Circuit, we may just see McKenna Jones not in qualifying, but straight up reaching main draws now with her own rankings. Instrumental for her as she continues to try to build early in her career. Meanwhile, all that work back just to give a +1 error away. It's a 4th breakpoint chance now for McRae. Heck of a forehand from Ethan Quinn. That said, beyond the +1, it's been really difficult for him to hurt Holmgren in any sort of fashion. Holmgren's used to the pace of that Quinn forehand. He's seen this level before, able to respond in kind, and just not quite with the rally tolerance yet to sustain the relentlessness of Holmgren. Cray does get the break. We're back on serve 2-3 in our women's singles final second set. Meanwhile, Quinn does manage to hold the keep pace. Starting set number 2, we hit the 1 hour mark. Here, Alex Gruskin. So excited our Crack Racquets team can be a part of this SoCal Pro Circuit action. We got a week off next weekend. Then we're back for the LA swing. Tell you what, again, with the success August Holmgren has had, potentially he wins today. He is 11-1 through the first 3 weeks of the SoCal Pro Circuit. His only loss to one of the 5 best college tennis players in the country, Adrian Boitan. No shame in that defeat. About as ideal of a start as you could ask for in the pro career of August Holmgren. And again, I'm not insinuating this was the direct purpose, but if one of the purposes of the SoCal Pro Circuit was just, hey, again, we know we've got this really good SoCal kid named August Holmgren getting ready to leave college, ascend on to the pros. All I'm saying is, August Holmgren, you owe Chris Boyer a text saying, Happy Father's Day. Thank you for the opportunities. Of course, Chris Boyer, part of that USTA SoCal team, helped make everything you see over the past 3 weeks possible, just like another August Holmgren hold. He holds for a 6-3, 2-1 lead on serve in the second set. We go back to our women's singles final now. How about that? Quick break of serve for McKenna Jones. All signs indicating potential going the distance here on court 10. Again, both of these players dropped just 1 game yesterday against their teenage opponents. So again, Megan McRae here. I say on serve pejoratively, as we've seen a plethora of breaks. Again, you look for McKenna Jones, and just quickly, obviously a lot of tennis for her, a big week for Jones, but of course, got to see Jones compete yesterday in our women's doubles final. Competed alongside former UNC teammate Sarah Davatilla. Beautiful volley from McKenna Jones, showing off that doubles prowess. Of course, again, Jones, Davatilla knocked off yesterday. Let's show our champions. It was Ya Yang, Bunyawe Tamchaiwat, 3-4 victory. First pro doubles title for Yang, I believe the 5th for the rising Pepperdine senior Bunyawe Tamchaiwat. As we go back to our women's singles final, one does wonder, the 18-year-old Ya Yang. Pro Circuit title in Cairo, made our final last week at the University of San Diego. How many college tennis coaches over the past 3 weeks have approached Young and said, hey, just a quick question, any consideration you'd play college tennis? Boy, it would be fun to get someone with her power, her talent, competing at that level. But right now, the +1 error is just piling up for Megan McRae. And again, 7 double faults apiece right now for our 2 women's singles finalists. Qualifiers here today. So again, no matter what, this was a win. That spray wide. No, found good. Good forehand from McRae. Saw that far chair or lines person, as you see. It looked like her arm was beginning to raise, and she put it back in that corner pocket. So one break point fought off by McRae. Still 30-40 here. It's great forehand. Great depth. It does feel as though McKenna Jones has changed the dynamic of this match. Her court positioning far closer to that baseline now, and Jones going to serve to force a third set. Meanwhile, let's go split screen. I want to follow both of our singles finals. Alex Gruskin here. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers tuning in. Maybe you're the father of a podcast. Maybe you're the father of a child. No matter what it is, we appreciate the efforts of fathers everywhere. I'll point out that today, June 19th, happens to be my father's 60th birthday. Happy birthday, Michael Gruskin. I think the ultimate gift I can give him, showing up to brunch this morning, then disappearing for the next 4 hours. I guarantee you Michael Gruskin asleep on a couch somewhere right now, as every father should be. It's a Father's Day rite of passage, of course. Perhaps you're tuning in with us and you want to be engaged by the action. We appreciate all of you who are. Certainly Ethan Quinn is no longer appreciating the +1 serve. Prowess on serve of August Holmgren. Just been buzzsawing through service game after service game. Again, dropped just 6 points on serve in the opening set of the match. Just dropped just 9 points on serve through 6 service games. Not too shabby. Game point chance for him. Meanwhile, again, McKenna Jones, I lied. I said 7 doubles faults each. McKenna Jones, 8 double faults thus far, has just struggled mightily on the second serve. 6 of 25. 6 of 25 on second serve. When you want to take out the 8 double faults, fine. 6 of 17. McKenna Jones, when she's landed the second serve, and she's only making 52% of her first serves right now. But you see right there the difference the first serve makes. McKenna Jones has taken another level as a +1 tennis player. I keep emphasizing it. So comfortable to see Holmgren hold at love for 3-2. We'll go full screen. McKenna Jones serving for the second set to force the third. Again, when she's been able to land that first serve, be the aggressor, it's been completely different dynamic in her service game. Another look at a second serve coming. With that, McKenna Jones, 2 set points. She can land a first serve here to get over the finish line. Number 1 fought off. Not a coincidence, perhaps, that it was on the second serve. Of course, again, McKenna Jones making 51% of her first serves, including 46% here in set number 2. But it's the drop shot behind a first serve that gets the job done. We're going the distance in our women's singles final. McKenna Jones, 6-3 second set. Gonna be one set for all the marbles here at the Barnes Tennis Center. Meanwhile, again, August Holmgren, 24-year-old out of the University of San Diego, was NCAA singles finalist this season, competing in his 4th professional final, including his 3rd in the past 12 months. Mentioned the serving struggles for McKenna Jones. Ethan Quinn was under 50% yesterday. At 52% on the first serve today. Was at 48% in set 1. Has gotten that up to 59% here in set 2. Well, that was a choice. Come on over the top of that forehand so well. Again, Quinn's got good feel. He likes to incorporate the slices. He likes to incorporate the backhand drop shots. Likes to get creative, but a center third forehand as a forehand slice, not the choice I'd make. Or maybe I should say that is the choice I'd make, and that's why I'm not out there competing in a championship final. But look, if you're going to have a sloppy choice, make your first serve on the next point. That's precisely what Ethan Quinn does, and now another game point chance. That's what I'm saying. Why hit the forehands? Oh, no, he didn't. He missed that forehand? Look, August Holmgren didn't make the call. As you see, full lines crew here for our championship final. Interesting. Called long, so deuce point now. And again, that third set about to get underway in McRae Jones. In fact, first ball may have already been struck. We'll keep our eye on that, of course, as well. All right, break point chance now. Oh, great backhand. Great backhand. Out of Ethan Quinn, able to absorb what was outstanding forehand return from August Holmgren. That's just a safer, smarter decision from Quinn to swing through that ball, as opponents perhaps to turning to his more instinctual backhand slice. And man, there's a quick trigger on the release of Ethan Quinn. I'm sure Manny Diaz, Georgia men's tennis head coach, Jamie Hunt, associate head coach, are both thinking this as well. Wait till Ethan Quinn learns to engage his legs on that serve. You just feel like with his frame, his size, there might be, he's leaving 5 to 10 miles per hour on the table. And that's a dangerous prospect for the rest of the tennis playing world. Quinn, behave. It's a hell of an inside-out forehand. By the way, serving marker. Oh, there we go. Changes over as Quinn gets the hold 4-3 all. There's just, again, the snap, the athleticism, the feel, just the way the ball comes off the racket of Ethan Quinn. On the slice, on the forehand, the drive he's able to generate. There are pieces here, folks. Fascinating to watch the game of Quinn. With that in mind, can we go split screen, super producer Daniel Westhoff? I know that third set now officially underway. The opening break of serve for the One Love lead. Now it's 4-1 all. Now we're rocking and rolling. Similar start, obviously, as we saw in set number 1. Point chance coming up for Holmgren. Credit to Quinn. He's not had many opportunities. Good swinging volley from McKenna Jones. She has had success today whenever she's looked to that shot. And again, well, as much depth. And I really like the spin McRae can generate out of the corners. But Jones has done just such a great job of taking that time away from McRae, following that ball forward. That's the play. That's the play right there that has McKenna Jones working her way back into this match. Now another break point chance to make it 3 straight breaks to kick off our third set. Meanwhile, Ethan Quinn finally finding his range on the return. And scooted up the line. Double deuce action here in our championship finals. Does get the hold 4-4-3. Let's go full screen now. McRae Jones at deuce. All right. To deuce here for McRae, and I've mentioned the service stats for McKenna Jones. Certainly not the prettiest here today. On the flip side, you look at the serving stats for McRae. Again, 8 double faults to Jones's, excuse me, 7 double faults to Jones's 9. McRae now under 50% on service points won in both the first and second serve. That ball goes long though, so a game point chance coming up for McRae. McRae has faced 19 break points so far today. 19 break points. It's her 11th service game of the match. 19 break points. Just delicious. And that's the ball right there. Megan McRae, the action on her ball out of the corner. Just hard to generate that sort of spin, pace, a valuable hold of serve for the 26-year-old qualifier. 2-1 lead on serve now in the third set. Meanwhile, again, 4-3, second set on serve. 18-year-old Ethan Quinn. And here's how you know Quinn's been impressive. Super producer Daniel Westoff sending me a message saying, how did Quinn get redshirted? Shouldn't this guy be one of the 10, 20 best players in college tennis already? Yeah, really easy to see, again, how Quinn will have success in his career moving forward, but they're playing the long game. Is the Quinn family and their team. And they're not worried about the tennis itself. You see that forehand there. Again, his feel on the drop shot, the pace he's able to generate, the fluidity. Feels like there's a lot of things he can do on a court. It's for Ethan getting himself physically to where he's comfortable doing all of those things. And again, body of success here this past 6 months speak for itself. Second pro singles final past 2 months for the 18-year-old. It's just someone called the pickleball chief. Holmgren got caught in the kitchen there. Net court going the way of Ethan Quinn. 4-all now. So 4-all here, set number 2. Let's go double box again. Want to watch both of our action here. Coming up here, Jones, McCray, and those second serve woes continuing for Jones, and first serve in general now down to 52%, but she's under 50% the past 2 sets. Just has to find a way to land more first serves, because when she is, +1 tennis has clearly taken a step forward. 0 for 4 on second serve points though in the set, and 7 of 30 for the match here. Big 30-all second serve. Yeah, that's the danger. Now McCray here. Break point chance. Take the first significant scoreboard lead of the set. Of course, as you saw, August Holmgren 6-3, 5-4. Can. Okay, never mind. Super producer Daniel Westoff. go back full screen. August Holmgren takes the first point. I'm telling you, I don't remember McKenna Jones being this good as a volley. I just don't. And I watched a lot of McKenna Jones throughout her career at North Carolina. Again, one of just 4 players to earn over 100 singles and doubles victories in her career. How about that? Jones scrapping her way to a much-needed hold 4-2 all. Meanwhile, again, we're locked in here, 30-15. All right, August Holmgren working his way to deuce now. Ethan Quinn going to keep moving forward. And again, when Quinn can land that first serve, able to keep pace with anyone. By the way, McKenna Jones, after the tough hold, gets the break. So I would say we're on break more than on serve in that third set of our women's singles final. 3-2 now for the NCAA 2021 doubles champion, McKenna Jones. Of course, Jones here on Father's Day feels worth noting. Only one father-daughter duo, I believe. You can prove me wrong if you're watching, but I believe only one father-daughter duo has ever both won NCAA doubles championships, as we see Ethan Quinn holding 4-5 all. Of course, McKenna Jones, the daughter half of that equation. I'll let all of you on the stream, perhaps some of you heard this trivia yesterday. Who is McKenna Jones's father? Obviously a former NCAA doubles champion. Jones family, tennis royalty at this point. Can you name that trivia question? I'll tell you this. My former tennis coach, Ed Nagel, was a teammate of his in college. That might be tough for you to figure out from there. But a little trivia for all of you here on Father's Day. Jones. Not going to say the first name, but again, what school did McKenna Jones's father win an NCAA doubles championship for? First one to answer correctly on our Cracked Racquets YouTube channel will get a shout out from us here on the broadcast. 3 o'clock limit though. 3 p.m. Eastern time going to be the limit for those answers. Meanwhile, again, Jones here, 15 love. Holmgren yet to be broken on serve. Might have just thrown a commentator's jinx his way, but Holmgren just rock solid, winning 83% of his first serves. 64% of those first serves as well. Has dropped just 14 points. 9 service games, has saved just the one break point that he faced. Excuse me. Welcome to Anthony Gilbert, tennis guy, tuning in. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you joining us here for our Championship Sunday broadcast. You with thoughts, comments, share them with us here in our Cracked Racquets booth at AL Gruskin, at Cracked Racquets on Twitter. Of course, fire them in the YouTube comment section as well. Again, McKenna Jones, one half of the only father-daughter championship-winning NCAA doubles duo. I believe in NCAA Division I tennis history. Can you name the school her father played at? That's the trivia question we're waiting for. And there's the athleticism I talked about with McKenna Jones. She's always had that gear, that ability to extend rallies. That's why I do think particularly pertinent that she's been able to find that ability to move forward. But how about this? Again, the commentator's jinx is on. Marcus Holmgren has yet to be broken. Now 2 breakpoint chances here for Ethan Quinn. Yeah, big first serve out wide, gets him out of a jam. Quinn giving that ball a second look. How about that? McKenna Jones consolidates the break lead. 4-2 now for the former NCAA doubles champ. Let's go full screen Holmgren Quinn for this break point. First serve missed long by Holmgren, so the second serve coming here. All right, another break chance coming up now for Quinn. Actually, if we can we go split screen here, super producer Daniel Westhoff? Obviously a big moment for Quinn, but a big moment for McCray as well. She tries to stay alive here. Again, the double break 5-2, quite the deficit to have to overcome in the third set, but another thunderous forehand return from McKenna Jones. Now we're grinding, folks. Back to deuce. After our longest rally of the match. Quinn and Holmgren. Longest Holmgren now. Successfully fighting off all 4 of the breakpoint chances that he's faced. We're back to deuce. Meanwhile, again, McKenna Jones 30-40. It's a breakpoint. Maybe serving as a de facto match point, but I can hear it, at least in my ears, locked into the camera feeds. Feels like the wind may have picked up a little bit right now at the Barnes Tennis Center in San Diego. Yeah, boy, that's the ball if you're Quinn. First of all, great rally, great direction, great shape, great choice. Just unable to execute. Perhaps you're thinking highest part of the net, really, but keeping August Holmgren honest by attacking that on-the-run forehand is critical because A, it opens up the ad side of the court. B, prevents him from cheating over on that ad side as well. Again, great choice, poor execution. In my book, leads to a game point for Holmgren. Well, now comes the test of Ethan Quinn's mettle. Had 3 breakpoint chances, each of them fought off by August Holmgren. Holmgren now 6-3, 6-5 lead, 1 game away from a second professional singles title, second title in the past 3 weeks here on the SoCal Pro Circuit. Meanwhile, back to our women's singles final. Megan McRae fights off a break point. Now earns herself a game point chance here. Couple of consecutive holds. We're in our women's singles final. McRae keeping things close. 3-4 now. Still Jones up that, and I say it in quotation marks, up a break here in the 3rd set. Meanwhile, coming up next week off for all of these players. After that, we head to the Kramer Club in Los Angeles, that first week of Wimbledon. Also going to be the first week of the Los Angeles stretch of the SoCal Pro Circuit. After that, we're in Fountain Valley. After that, our final event going to be July 11th to the 16th. So again, 3 more weeks to go. Plenty more opportunities to see these top players compete. Right now, it's 18-year-old Ethan Quinn. Ethan Quinn competing in his 2nd Pro Circuit final. All right. Point chances for Quinn here. I think Quinn here in the second set has faced just one break point, making only 51% of his first serves, but he's found some rhythm here in set number 2, and we're going to a breaker. We're gonna head to a third set. The August Holmgren with title number 2. Meanwhile, more +1 success for McKenna Jones. I wish I had her net point stats available to me. I tell you what, she's been very good moving forward in this match, and we've now hit 306. None of you answering my trivia question. McKenna Jones, daughter of now Furman men's tennis head coach, 2-time Pepperdine men's doubles champion Kelly Jones. Kelly Jones, Carlos Delora, Jerome Jones, mid-80s Pepperdine teams, as good as you're going to find men's college tennis history. First strike to Ethan Quinn. Gets the mini break. Lead, meanwhile, game point chance here for Jones. Keep herself break ahead. All right, McKenna Jones 1 game away from a first pro singles title. Again, for Jones, who won her first pro doubles title last week. Action at the University of San Diego. Mentioned this at the time. Confidence leads to confidence. Back for 1-2 here. This is where you wonder, and I mentioned this earlier, does the San Diego crowd help Holmgren over the stretch here? All right, we got to go full screen on our women's singles final. Match point for 24-year-old McKenna Jones. Jones has been exceptional all week long. Did not drop a set. until today's final. And the 24-year-old's now a pro singles champion. Hands on the knees. Again, the gift that keeps on giving. McKenna Jones offering her father, Furman's men's tennis head coach, Kelly Jones, the gift of all gift. Hands on her head in disbelief. 3-6, 6-3, 6-3. Jones is an ITF singles champion. What a moment. Feel goosebumps here in the broadcast booth, just seeing what this moment means to Jones. With that in mind, let's go back to our tiebreaker here. One match to go. August Holmgren, mini break lead in hand. The 24-year-old won his first pro singles title 2 weeks ago in Rancho Santa Fe. 3 points away. Title number 2. All right, it's on his racket. 2 serves. Earned himself again title number 2. Yeah, you don't need me to say it. You hear August Holmgren. He knows it was a great serve. We know it was a great serve. Championship point. Is he gonna go 2 for 2 in Barnes Tennis Center finals? August Holmgren for the title. Yeah, that's pretty. And regardless of how today's final goes, I promise you this will not be the last final in the career of Ethan Quinn. 18-year-old, so promising. Championship point fought off. So 2 more championship points fought off. Ethan Quinn doing his job on serve. Another championship point on the racket of August Holmgren. Let's make the turn, folks. 6-all. We play on 4 championship points fought off by 18-year-old Ethan Quinn. Again, again, Alex Gruskin, final match on week 2 here of the 2022 SoCal Pro Circuit. Week 3, excuse me. Good serve. Keeps him out in front. Another match point number 5 now for the 24-year-old. Keeps attacking. That's 5 fought off now. 7-all here in the breaker. Ethan Quinn with the roar. Looking towards his bench again. Majority homegrown crowd, but there are a few Quinn supporters out at the BTC, and now he's got himself a set point chance. I'll tell you what, if he's able to scrap himself out of this deficit, 5 match points down, folks, he will have all of the momentum heading into the 3rd. We are going the distance. Ethan Quinn fights off 5 match points. This is a 3rd set in our men's singles final. 18-year-old. What an effort. Was 3-love down in the 3rd set yesterday. Deciding 3rd set here on Thursday. Of course, now that we have a moment, let's recap where things stand in week 3. Of course, men's doubles champions crowned yesterday. Ethan Quinn competing in that championship match. Ultimately, though, Quinn knocked off the doubles final. The top seeds Li Zhi, Hua Young Sung, 6-4, 3-6, 10-8. Survive. Of course, both Li Zhi, Hua Young Sung, double-digit numbers of ITF Pro Circuit titles in doubles. Not the case for our women's doubles champions. On the women's side, it was Bunyawi Temchaiwat, rising 5th-year senior for Pepperdine, partnering with the 18-year-old Ya Young, our finalists from last week's singles action. The duo 3-4 win over the all-North Carolina team, Sarah Davatilla. McKenna Jones, of course. The good news for McKenna Jones, she captures her 1st Pro Circuit singles title. 3-set win for Jones. The qualifier today over Megan McRae. with that, just one match to go here in week 3. Of course, we've mentioned this already. Have a week off next week. Then our action will continue in Los Angeles. It's going to be a very fun week 1 of the LA stretch as we head to the Jack Kramer Club starting June 27th for a little men's women's singles doubles action. Again, after that, we go over to Fountain Valley. Gonna continue our action there. One more week following that Fountain Valley event. Again, 3 weeks in Los Angeles, 6 weeks of SoCal Pro Circuit action. Plenty of opportunities for all of the talent in Southern California to test themselves against the best of the best on the pro circuit. Of course, huge thank you to the countless sponsors who help make this event possible. Of course, if you don't already know about the Bryan Brothers Foundation, first of all, Bryan Brothers have, of course, done more to help guide Southern California tennis of, obviously, Bryan Brothers Foundation, based off the success of the Bryan Brothers. Mike, Bob, looking to contribute back to the SoCal region that, of course, they developed in. Of course, a thank you to the Kleege, Crable families, Southern California Tennis Association Foundation, of course, helping to foot the bill as well. Massive thank you to Wilson, USTA, ITF, for their continued support in providing playing opportunities as well. See Ethan Quinn back on court. Let's quickly pop back over again. Snapdragon Stadium court, best named court in arguably all of tennis. Quinn fighting off 5 match points in the breaker, forcing the 3rd set against August Holmgren. All right, what we're going to do actually is take a 2-minute break. 2-minute break. We'll keep this on screen for all of you. We'll be back as soon as that 3rd set gets underway. But for now, Alex Gruskin, Daniel Westoff here at Cracked Racquets. You're watching our coverage of the 2022 SoCal Pro Circuit. And this is where you begin to wonder. Again, Alex Gruskin of Cracked Racquets. Third set now officially underway. 18-year-old Ethan Quinn, a rising redshirt freshman at the University of Georgia, taking on this year's NCAA singles finalist, August Holmgren. And again, you ask yourself, well, if Quinn's able to take a set off the NCAA singles finalist, why was he redshirted here this season? Again, they're taking the long view in Ethan's development. Could he have contributed this season? Absolutely. Was it more valuable for Quinn to have the opportunity to go play the Junior French Open, go play multiple futures over the past 6 months? Absolutely. And again, for Quinn to be able to fight off 5 match points, was down 6-2 in that second set break. Was down 3-love yesterday against 17-year-old Alex Mickelson in the third set as well. Can't fake those experiences in practice. Now the question for Holmgren, who's played again 18 matches, 28 days, 2 3-setters in the quarterfinals and semifinals. Just how much gas does the 24-year-old Holmgren have left in the tank? I mean, again, 5 match points as well. Inevitably, that'll wear on you mentally. Game point chance now for Quinn. Some of you may be thinking, isn't Holmgren a little slow here to the line? Yeah, you would say pace of the server. But of course, that pace, that slow, deliberate, go to the towel every time, just a part of the August Holmgren routine. And the ace down the tee from Ethan Quinn. 1-love now. Quinn leads in the first set. Of course, again, Alex Gruskin here. Week 3 of the SoCal Pro Circuit now underway. Week 4 coming in about 8-9 days. June 27th going to be the start for our Los Angeles portion of the action. And if you're just joining us here today, it's been a day of firsts so far. McKenna Jones, the 24-year-old 2021 NCAA doubles champion, earns the first pro title of her career. 3-set victory for the qualifier over a fellow qualifier, 26-year-old Megan McRae. Now we look here. Will Ethan Quinn perhaps earn his first title today? 1-love. Yeah, that's the August Holmgren we need to see more of. Again, Holmgren, dominant on serve, has yet to be broken, but faced a couple of breakpoint chances, 3 of them in his 5 all-service game. That's why, again, when he got to 6-2 in that breaker, you just felt like, okay, Quinn gave him that last fight, that last punch. Hell of an effort from the 18-year-old, but this is where the 24-year-old will separate himself. But no, he hasn't been able to do it, despite this success on serve. And again, it's a dumb stat. I'm just going to acknowledge before I even say it out loud. August Holmgren now has played this is his 15th third set match on the Pro Tour. 15th. He's 11-3 in those 14 prior 3-set matches, but it's tough to compare, again, any of the matches, any of the circumstances. All of these matches so individual. And of course, Holmgren typically always going to have the legs, the fitness to be there at the end. But again, circumstances of this 3-set match different than all of the 14 prior. Good start for Holmgren, though, here in his opening service game, 440 love. Yeah, that's clean. That's routine. That's 1-all. For Holmgren and Quinn again. Alex Gruskin here. Any of you tuning in, happy Father's Day to you and yours. Tell my father this all the time. I'm just doing a poor man's impersonation of him calling traffic and weather together on the 8s. Whenever we'd be listening to the radio in the car growing up. I'm sure plenty of you have formative experiences like that with your own fathers as well. Good anticipation from Holmgren. First point. The 24-year-old, I tell my dad all the time, if I had his deep, monotone, hello, Alex Gruskin, although not that he ever calls me by my last name, hello, Alexander, voice, I'd already be calling Wimbledon. Power rankings would go me, Chris Fowler, everyone else. Sadly, I'm cursed with this alto voice. All right, here comes August, and can go one of two ways after you blow 5 match points, right? We saw it last week. Snohan saved, what was it, 9, maybe 10 match points against Maria Kazireva. In the second set, Kazireva lost the third set, 6-love. Holmgren just blew 5 match points in the breaker, but instead of dwelling on it, becoming negative, he's come back out fired up. That's why I say he's played 15 pro 3-set matches, but think about all the times competing for the University of San Diego for Holmgren, and either came down to his quarter. You know, again, he was pushed to 3 sets in a pressure situation. It's just good tennis, though. Clean, +1 hitting. Even going to cheer on these unforced errors. Again, that wasn't meant as a sign of disrespect, but I meant to pump himself up from love 30 to 40-30 now for the 18-year-old Quinn. That wrist now again. See, a little taped up. A lot of tennis on the body. All these players here this week for Quinn in particular. Finals in singles and doubles. There's the August Holmgren we're used to. Inside the baseline there. Aggressive with that forehand, and that's why you can't be stagnant. towards the ad corner against Holmgren. Once he gets a read on what you're trying to do, Holmgren anticipates so well, uses his quick feet to jump around that ball, find forehands in the ad side corner, or he'll use his footwork to take that backhand on the rise. And just like that, we're back at deuce. I mean, so credit to August Holmgren. Heck of a relentless backhand passing shot combo, but we talk about the hands of Ethan Quinn. Half volley, backhand, pickup, scoop. It's a damn difficult shot to execute. Regardless of what happens today, everyone, and this isn't a hot take by any stretch of the imagination, everyone needs to keep their eyes on 18-year-old Ethan Quinn. There's a lot about his game to enjoy. Still break point here for Holmgren. Not anymore. Big serve wide from Quinn. And it's the little things for Quinn. Why I'm so fascinated by his game. It feels like it's going to be easy to clean up some of the little things. You look for Quinn today, making just 56% of his first serves. 12 of 17 to kick off set number 3. But again, the first serve percentage, you feel like that's one of the controllables, right? Something every player can improve on their own with. It's not dependent on the success of an opponent, or dependent on the reaction of an opponent. If you give a floating second serve like that, Holmgren's gonna find a forehand, and he's gonna make you pay. Just too casual from Ethan Quinn on that point. Break point chance number 7. Now coming up for August Holmgren. Excuse me, break point number 6. No, break point number 7. God, he got the 2 breaks of serve in set 1. Kicker out wide, a little off speed. I like that play. Holmgren tried to catch that ball early on the rise. Beat Quinn to the spot, but yeah, the 18-year-old, yeah, the forehand pop jumps off the screen, but the feel, the creativity, gets him in trouble sometimes. Other times it's very enjoyable. And again, wait till he learns to bend his knees. I would say he gets maybe 8% of the power he generates on serve from those legs. Feels like it's all shoulders and upper body right now. Great on the run pass from Holmgren just to keep that ball low. That's volley, obviously, Quinn makes 7 out of 10 times. But I would, again, ask all of you, just watch the Quinn serve here. Deuce coming up. Watch his legs, how little he seemingly bends his knees as he explodes into that serve. Forehand into the net. It's just, everything seems very easy for Ethan Quinn right now on court. Given, again, that he's not going to have to work on the mechanics, the little things. Break point chance number 8. Coming up for August Holmgren. It's good serving. Again, Quinn finding that first serve much more consistently here in set number 3 thus far. It's only a second service game, but he's already played 20 points on serve in the set. 23 to be exact. Point coming up. That's good serving from Ethan Quinn. 18-year-old gets himself out of a jam. 2-1 now on serve in set number 3. Let's pull up the graphic if we can for the 18-year-old Ethan Quinn. It's been a heck of a week for him at the Barnes Tennis Center already. Quinn wins over Tyler, Marcus, Paralek, and Mickelson. Needed a 3-set win yesterday. Came back from 3-love down in that 3rd set to knock off future teammate Alex Mickelson. Of course, again, you look for Ethan Quinn in his 2nd professional final. First came back in Vero Beach at the end of April. Lost in straight sets in that final to Sekou Bangura. So he's already put together his best performance in a pro final. Of course, you look for Quinn here on the season. 15-5 overall on the pro circuit. Again, 18 years old. You'll take that, right? Certainly, and for him now with his results this week, you look in the live rankings, Quinn inside the top 850 for the first time, currently sitting at 848. Should he win today, and top 825, top 800 come a-calling. Start for Holmgren for 15-love. And the 24-year-old has played 3-set matches in the quarterfinals, semifinals. Just wonder again how much in the legs does August Holmgren have left. Trying to see what Holmgren's disputing here. Is it a call? Yes, good footwork, good aggression. Risky. But that's the August Holmgren. Let's put himself in this position. Game point chance here for Holmgren. Makes sense, right? After a tough service game for Quinn, it's inevitable. Get a tough one for Holmgren as well. By the way, look at the legs of August Holmgren on this serve. How much deeper he gets on that bend, how it helps him explode into that serve as well. It's not to say Ethan Quinn, again, foundationally, fundamentally, I am not criticizing the game of the 18-year-old. I want to be clear here. If Ethan Quinn's serve stays as is, I've got no qualms with that. But it does feel as if there is another, again, 5-7 miles per hour of power that he could just tap into with bending his legs, getting more spring from them. So you just watch the 18-year-old with the firepower he already possesses. Plenty to like. Oh, yes. Mark that clip, super producer Daniel Westoff. 2-all, love 15 on the run magic. From August Holmgren. Love 15 here. Man, strong stuff from Quinn out of the corners there. We're just not quite enough legs. Get to that ball early and beat him to the spot. Oh, didn't go for the tattoo. Thought he might. Send a little third set message instead. Respectful. Finds the open court on the overhead. A little gesture from Holmgren. Not sure who he's chatting with there off screen. Oh, getting that towel, I see. So August Holmgren now. Gonna serve down 2-3 here, third set. Alex Gruskin, happy Father's Day to all of you joining us here for our Cracked Racquets broadcast. Just appreciate all of you. Hope all of you got to spend some time with your loved ones. Perhaps some of you joining us now that the F1 action for the day is over. Shout out to Max Verstappen. Another victory for he and Red Bull. Perhaps some of you tuning into the US Open golf action in the background as well. For now, we've got a battle on our hands. As again, Ethan Quinn was a redshirt last year for the University of Georgia. The 18-year-old who's competed in the Junior Slams. Ranked as high. Nice +1 ball from Holmgren, getting back to the basics. And again, that's going to be the key right here if you're Ethan Quinn. He's yet to break. Holmgren in today's match. A little left court luck for August Holmgren. Loved now. Easy hold at love once again for Holmgren. 3-all now. Third set. So a little bit of an opening now for August Holmgren. Here's the question. Again, does he take this return on the rise? Quinn's done such a good job finding that backhand with the kick serve, second serves. Holmgren has had some trouble trying to short hop that ball of late. It's tough. Tough, tough, tough. Year-old Ethan Quinn didn't necessarily hit his spot on the return, but just held his ground on the baseline, 30 all. Credit to Holmgren, credit to Quinn. Neither guy showing any signs of fatigue. Big T serve again for Ethan Quinn. First serve percentage for Quinn after 48% in the first set. It's now up to 57%. He's making 2/3 of his first serves here in set 3. And a couple of big first serves get him out of a little jam. So 4-3, still on serve here in set number 3. Again, another quick reminder. Who were your doubles champions at the 2022 SoCal Pro Circuit event at the Barnes Tennis Center? Well, on the women's side, it was Bunyawi Timchaiwat and Ya-E Young, 24-year-old, 18-year-old, combining for a 6-3, 6-4 victory over former UNC All-Americans and standout Sarah Davatella, McKenna Jones. Of course, again, Timchaiwat going to play one more season of college tennis next year at Pepperdine. Will be fascinating to see if anyone was able to cajole the talented 18-year-old Ya-E Young into a year of college tennis. Of course, McKenna Jones may have dropped the women's doubles championship, but McKenna Jones, your women's singles champion earlier today. 3-set victory for her first title in her pro career. Of course, here, men's doubles champions was Leja Hwa-Young Sung. 3-set victory over the Ethan Quinn you see on screen. Quinn partnering with Texas 4th-year CM Waldeep. Heck of a match in that championship final. With that said, we've got a heck of a championship final here. Ethan Quinn walking to his side. You see August Holmgren on the near side of your screen. Holmgren 10-1. Through 11 SoCal Pro Circuit matches, won the title week 1 in Rancho Santa Fe. That's fascinating. August Holmgren picking on that Ethan Quinn backhand to wing. I know I keep throwing names out there for Ethan Quinn. Forehand looks like Jacob Bickerstath's, excuse me. Also, got that combination of Johannes Ingridsen. See a little Jensen Brooksby again in his, I suppose, body type as well. to like about Ethan Quinn? Wasn't the most conventional, but August Holmgren holding 4-4 Now again, home stretch, set number 3, Alex Gruskin. Look at the numbers. Again, August Holmgren has fought off all 4 breakpoint chances that he's faced today. I mean, I love Ethan Quinn's willingness to serve and volley. Big serve into the body of Holmgren. Delivers the first blow. Great hands on the drop volley. That's, again, what's so fascinating about Quinn is his ability to switch gears. The power tennis is going to be the foundation of his success. All right, Ethan Quinn, 5-4, stays in front. Deciding third set. Of course, if we get to that point, would be a breaker at 6-all. Worth remembering, August Holmgren was up 6-2 in that second set breaker, had 2 match points on his racket. Quinn managed to fight them both off. Ultimately forced this third set. Now, if you looked in the opening service game and early on here in set number 3, Holmgren had a couple of breakpoint chances. Those breakpoint chances coming in the 1-all, second service game of Ethan Quinn. Have not had a breakpoint chance since. Now, did I just throw in a double dose of commentator jinx? To be honest, I don't believe in the commentator jinx. Now, let me be clear. My ego is plenty healthy. That's never been the question. But I think it's pretty egotistical to assume that a double fault was your own fault, as if we commentators have any sort of power in what unfolds on court. That's my zag here in the commentary booth, disbelieving in the commentator's curse. Tell you what, there's been no zagging on serve, though. Everything going the way of the server here in set number 3. Look at the stats in the third set. Holmgren, interestingly enough, only making 50% of his first serves, but Holmgren 7 of 10 on the first serve, 9 of 10 on the second serve, has dropped just 4 points on serve through 4 service games. That said, now serving to stay alive in the match. August Holmgren, the ITA National Fall Championship winner here at the Barnes Tennis Center in November, was 7-5 in the third set in that match. Can he summon that sort of effort again here? Second serve coming up once again. And Holmgren now 10 of 21 on the first serve. But 10 of 11 on second serve points. Lasers the +1 forehand. And certainly if you're Ethan Quinn, that was a bit lackadaisical on the return. Not much of a split set. Love. Yeah, just back. Bit delayed on the call, but confirmed by the chair. That did look like it missed here on our stream as well, at least from my perspective. God. They're going to be teaching that August Holmgren inside-in forehand in classes for years to come. Just the balance he's able to maintain on that ad side. About as beautiful on the shoulder turn technique as one could expect. chances here for Holmgren, 4-5-4. Meanwhile, if you're Ethan Quinn, what's the move here to just disrupt the Holmgren rhythm? We've tried this return position repeatedly. No avail. Again, maybe it's 12 feet behind the baseline. Maybe it's taking a foot inside the baseline. I just need to see something different from Ethan Quinn on the return here. Look, he's found himself a rhythm on serve. There's no denying that for the 18-year-old. And again, he fought off 5 match points that were even in this third set. Testament to the work ethic, the relentlessness, tenacity, all those things mean the same thing, of course. For Ethan Quinn, God, I love that tee serve. Hits that spot extraordinarily well. Six-eighths of the match for Ethan Quinn now. Excuse me, 7th ace of the match for Quinn, matching August Holmgren here. Only breaks of serve came in set number 1. Holmgren an early break, and then the final break in that first set. Has not had a break since 5-3 in the first. You can understand why. Quality +1 tennis. Well then. When was the last time we had a 30-all in a service game? Not since 3-all on the scoreboard have we had a 30-all. Haven't had a deuce since our 3rd game of the set either. It's all going the way of the server. But right now, Ethan Quinn, 30-all here. Yeah. I mean, that's been the bread and butter. That deuce side tee serve has gotten him out of so many different jams. There you say, to quote the Black Eyed Peas, oh hot damn, that tee serve is his jam. Power out wide. He holds 4-6-5. So August Holmgren gonna have a chance to force the breaker. Going to need to do that as well. 6-5 now. Set number 3. Final set here, week 3. Again, we've got a week off next week. All these players, a week to enjoy that Southern California sunshine. Maybe go hit the weight room for a week. Put the training schedule together. After that, we carry on this SoCal Pro Circuit. 3 consecutive weeks of action in the Los Angeles area. Start out at the Jack Kramer Club, July 27th through the 3rd. Go to Fountain Valley from the 4th to the 10th. Semifinal Saturday coverage, championship Sunday coverage, of course, going to continue to be available here on our Cracked Racquets YouTube channel. Massive thank you to the countless partners, the ITF, the USTA, of course, the Kleege family, Crable family. It just takes individuals passionate, willing to commit not only their time, but their financial resources to this sport. If we're ever going to grow it at the grassroots level, excuse me, it's because of the efforts of families like the Kleeges, like the Krables, the Bryan Brothers Foundation, Southern California Tennis Association Foundation. Massive thank you to our sponsors. 5-6 though. August Holmgren serving to stay alive here in our championship final. All righty. Well, here's a turn. Of 30. Yeah, it's routine. And again, August Holmgren has been up 30 love in every service game he's played here in the third set. Prior to this one, Holmgren facing 4 break points throughout the course of the match, fought off all 4. No break point chances for Quinn yet here in the third set. A break point chance in this game would also be a match point. 15-30 now for Holmgren. Tough error for Ethan Quinn. We saw him miss a similar up-the-line forehand on a breakpoint chance back at the end of that second set. I don't hate the attempt. I really don't. I know 15-30, you're thinking, don't make an unforced error there, but boy, if that ball lands, the gap it had to that Holmgren backhand chance, now Quinn's on his front foot. Instead, it's 30-all. Now comes the choice. What does Quinn do here? Is he going to step up? Quinn does take that ball inside the baseline, but that's textbook. Textbook. On the cross-court forehand for August Holmgren, 3 straight points for the 24-year-old. Game point to force the third set buster. Let's go to the buster. 6-all, third set, tie break to decide it. Holmgren had 5 match point chances, was up 6-2 in the second set buster. I should say breaker. It's only a buster if it decides the third. Lock in, folks. Let's play some tennis. Uh-oh. And you hear the energy level is up. The fan noise is up. Holmgren gonna do everything he can to engage this San Diego crowd. Good point construction. Tough error for Quinn. Mini break starts out with August Holmgren. Call the man Neo. Bends out of the way of the bullet. 2-love now. That right there, that's Ethan Quinn in a nutshell. Aggressive, but creative in that aggression. A lot of action. Forehand slice approach. Back on serve. To serve. Wow, tentative was August Holmgren on that first overhead. Quinn now sneaks his nose out in front, 3-2. August Holmgren, by the way, goes unbroken in today's match. Behind that big serve here. Get over the finish line for title number 2. I love me some Ethan Quinn forehand. Do you know how difficult it is to hit that ball bigger than August Holmgren? Again, Holmgren, NCAA singles finalist this year. And yet Ethan Quinn's the one with the biggest weapons. Quinn lacing those forehands. Literally nothing August Holmgren can do. No backswing, no ability to try and take that ball on the rise, be the aggressor. 4-2 mini break lead now for Quinn, who's won 4 consecutive points here. Big serve from August Holmgren ends the little run for the 18-year-old Quinn. Again, Quinn competing in his second ever professional final. Dropped a straight set match to Sekou Bangura earlier this year in Vero Beach. Go big or go home.
Come on, let's go.
That's a freebie. Second serve to the forehand, not a return. You see August Holmgren miss very frequently. 5-3 Quinn. Second serve, that's the +1 forehand Quinn comes up with. Oh no, he missed it wide, no. Okay, no, he did not miss it wide. I was gonna say, that was not wide. That ball was good. And so it's triple match point for Ethan Quinn. It's not the worst way to fight off the first. Ethan Quinn from 6-2 down in the second set breaker. 3-6, 7-6, 7-6. He is an ITF Pro Circuit champion. Certainly if you're August Holmgren. The 5 match points he had in the second set breaker, 2 of them on serve. For his standards, not the errors he would have hoped to make, but boy, the 18-year-old Quinn, you see again as he walks on to go support his bench, just incredible, incredible emotion out of the 18-year-old who you see hands on head, towel overhead. You always remember your first. For Ethan Quinn, the first title coming at the Barnes Tennis Center as part of our SoCal Pro Circuit. With that said, that'll do it for our coverage of week 3 of this SoCal Pro Circuit today. McKenna Jones, Ethan Quinn, a couple of first-time ITF Pro Singles champions. You always love to see that. And of course, here, Father's Day, want to give a special shout out to my father, Michael Gruskin, 60th birthday today. Really is his day of days, and to all the fathers out there. Obviously, we couldn't be kids without having you as father. So a massive thank you to all of you. Hope all of you have enjoyed your day. With that said, that'll do it for our coverage here of week 3. Now, as we've alluded to, week off next week, then we pick up our coverage in Los Angeles. Still 3 more weeks to go. Plenty of opportunities for the countless talented tennis players in the Southern California area. Seriously, folks, if you haven't already and you are one of those talented tennis players, go sign up. Go give yourself an opportunity to compete against the best of the best in the area. A massive thank you to the USTA, Wilson, ITF, and the countless other sponsors, who helped make this event and all of these pro circuit events possible. With all that said, massive shout out as always to super producer Daniel Westoff on the 1s and 2s. And as always, the best in the business. With all of that said, for Westoff and our entire team here at Cracked Racquets, I'm your host, Alex Gruskin. You have been watching our coverage of the 2022 SoCal Pro Circuit. We'll talk to you all in a couple of weeks. Thanks, everyone.